Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ronke Kolawole. The Senate has confirmed 2 of 3 nominated persons by President Muhammadu Buhari as resident electoral commissioners. That followed considerations in the Committee of the Whole of the report of the Committee on INEC. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye report on this and a call to beef up security in Adamawa State following communal clashes.
Those confirmed as resident electoral commissioners are Ambassador Rufus Akeju and Dr. Mahmoud Issa. The lawmakers, however, decided against confirming Ahmad Bello Mahmoud.
The committee requested and received from the Special Advisor to the President on National Assembly Matters the following documents of the nominees. 1. Curriculum vitae. 2. Clearance from the Department of Security Service. 3. Police report. 4. Code of Conduct acknowledgement slip. And 5. Other relevant certificates.
Approval was given to the Conference Committee report on Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2017, as well as the Conference Committee report on the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Bill 2017. Passing for third reading was the Federal University of Agriculture, Kaba, Establishment Bill 2017, sponsored by Senator representing Kogi West, Dino Malai. Consideration was also given to the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development on the anti-smuggling and dumping of agricultural products, commodities in Nigeria.
The College of Agriculture, Kaba, is a well-established institution with enough infrastructure that can support the takeoff of our university. Therefore, this bill is to provide for the upgrade of the college to a Federal University of Agriculture, Kaba.
Raising a point of order, Senator Emmanuel Polka, representing Bayelsa Central, moved a motion on the ongoing probe into the reinstatement of Abdul Rashid Maina.
To mandate this ad hoc committee set up for the investigation of reinstatement of Alhaji Maina to further investigate the circumstances surrounding the properties recovered by the defunct Presidential Task Force on Pension Reform.
We'll hold our opinion because sometimes some of these things are just allegations, so until you confirm that's what the true situation is. So please ensure a thorough job is done, and so that in 4 weeks' time we can have a report and take necessary action. Thank you.
In the wake of communal clashes in Adamawa State, the lawmakers resolved to call on relevant agencies to beef up security in the area.
The Senate notes with displeasure and pains the recurring communal clashes and insecurity in Adamawa State that resulted to loss of lives, killing of cattle and other animals, and destructions of unquantifiable worth of properties.
2 bills passed first reading: the Climate Change Bill 2017, sponsored by Senate Leader Ahmed Lawan, and the National War College Act of 2004 Amendments Bill 2017, sponsored by Senator Hope Uzodinma, representing Imo West. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
And National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim is standing by to give us an update on Thursday's plenary of the House of Representatives.
In today's plenary, the House has passed for third reading a bill for an act to establish the School of Mines and Geological Studies in Akoko, Edo, in Edo local government area of Edo State, sponsored by House Leader Femi Bajabiamila. The House also passed for second reading 3 bills, including a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Television Act of 2004. This bill is sponsored by Representative Olusegun Odebumi, and the representative is here with me to speak to the strong points of that bill.
Thank you very much. Odebumi Segun is my name. I represent the good people of Surulere Ogulua Federal Constituency. Well, actually, you know, we are just looking at the way of repeal the act of the NTA in order to suit the present day. You know, presently, even the NTA is moving towards from analog to digitalization. So all this, we believe that there are some things that need to amend in the act so that they can also have the capacity to meet the what is going relevant into the system nowadays. Especially, you know, there's no provision for the secretary of the board in the former act.
Thank you, Representative, for your time. This bill passing for second reading goes further to underscore the importance of the services of the Nigerian Television Authority to the nation. We will bring you the details of these reports in our subsequent bulletin.
Thank you, Kenneth. In the meantime, the House Committee investigating revenue leakages of the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, has resolved to revoke the licenses of oil companies that refuse to pay royalties to government. Investigation has shown that only 1 out of the 8 companies that appeared before the committee paid its royalties in full to government. National Assembly correspondent Rabi Musa completes the story.
Representatives of oil companies were in attendance but could not give satisfactory answers as observed by the committee. This necessitated the need for further investigative hearing, which is to take place in a week's time. Declaring the committee sitting open, Speaker Yakubu Dogara, represented by the Deputy Minority Leader, warned that government will no longer tolerate revenue leakages, especially with the Buhari administration's drive towards instilling financial discipline in the system.
This attitude must have contributed to the economic recession in Nigeria and is not going to be acceptable. This must stop. It should be made categorically clear that defaulting companies will be sanctioned.
The chairman of the ad hoc committee, Tarigbe Agwam Tarigbe, said the report of the committee will be presented on the floor of the House.
This parliament cannot be undermined. Most of them are basking in the euphoria of the past, but that will not be condoned now.
The committee suggested the scrapping of NDPC, saying it is a conduit pipe. Mobil is said to be indebted to the tune of $750 million, while Ajib Oil is to present documents of new account and other documents at the next sitting. Rabi Musa, NTA News.
And still National Assembly matters, His Holiness Pope Francis says he has been praying for peace and unity in Nigeria. The pontiff disclosed this when he met with Speaker Yakubu Dogara shortly after celebration of Mass in St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Few minutes after Speaker Yakubu Dogara arrived to St. Peter's Square, the Pope was ushered in, waving at the congregation who had come from different parts of the world to take home the pontiff's blessing. Individuals, organizations, and even the clergy as well needed the papal blessing. After more than 1 hour mass celebration and general blessing, the Pope met with Speaker Yakubu Dogara, where he informed the Speaker that he has been praying for Nigeria's unity and peace. Speaker Dogara described the meeting with the pontiff as timely and awesome.
It was awesome, and for me it was surprising. The Pope is well informed about the happening in Nigeria. The moment I said, well, I'm the Speaker of the Parliament in Nigeria, he said, how is Nigeria? How are you working for the peace of Nigeria? I pray for the peace of Nigeria and pray for me also.
I feel blessed coming to the Vatican and meeting with the Pope. I mean, there's no bigger blessing than this.
Well, it's humbling and it's an exciting experience to be able to spend Mass with the Holy Father. And I thank God it's also a one-in-a-lifetime experience.
The speaker and the Nigerian delegation who were in Rome for a conference against human trafficking and women empowerment were accompanied to the Vatican by the Nigerian ambassador to the Holy See, Godwin Omo, who said the Holy Father has been celebrating Mass in honor of the 26 Nigerian girls who died in the Mediterranean Sea recently.
In fact, the Pope has been very, very concerned, especially with the recent happenings where immigrants coming in here illegally get killed in the sea and so on.
It's a tradition here in the Vatican that every Wednesday the Pope celebrates Mass where he blesses people from different countries, and the delegation from Nigeria led by Speaker Yakubu Dogara was not left out. From the Vatican City here in Rome, Italy, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And to other matters now. In an effort to make life better for Nigerians, especially those in rural areas, the federal government is building 72 housing units for a Here community in Abia State. Usman Aliyu reports that 3 contractors are engaged for the construction, costing 789 million naira.
Here is a densely populated community. Its location in northern Aba, the famous industrial and commercial hub of the southeast, make challenges of human need like shelter enormous. And so the federal government considers this place for its rebranded national housing program.
This project was designed and it has been localized. It means almost 100% the project would be Nigerian. Starting from the doors and all the fittings, everything will be Nigerian component.
24 flats, that means 72 flats. Yes. The condominium is on 4 stories, and 3 of them are located here.
We are very much ready. We have been given money to start. We are struggling to come and start.
Abia State government facilitated free acquisition of the land.
The housing project is going to benefit everybody in Abia State, and in particular, this very community.
The community leaders believe the intervention builds more confidence in them on the government.
And this is the very first time the federal government have visited us here.
For this, a precedent has been set for better and improved infrastructure, which communities like Ehere are craving for. From Ehere community in Aba North, Abia State, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
The Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Center for Democracy and Development for an effective coordination of peace building and integration efforts in Northeast region. This was at a meeting of the 2 groups in Abuja, where the Director General, National Orientation Agency, Garba Bari, stressed the need for the coordination of humanitarian services in the region to be strengthened. Joseph Orok reports.
Despite intermittent attacks by insurgents, as the recent case in Adamawa State, the fact remains that Boko Haram has been defeated. And so, peace building and integration of people of the region is ongoing. To boost this process is why the committee entered into this agreement with Center for Democracy and Development.
In the last 5 months, the PCNI has intensified efforts aimed at coordinating the inputs by diverse actors working on peace building and reintegration in the Northeast. The coordination efforts of the PCNI have been fast-tracked under a collaboration with the Center for Democracy and Development.
There's been a cholera outbreak, there's been hepatitis E outbreak in the Northeast. The PCNI has been at the forefront of trying to see that we get drugs across to the people of Borno State, Adamawa State and Yobe State.
And what we hope to achieve is a better coordination that will better impact on the lives of the people and save costs, avoid duplication of efforts, and have synergies among all partners in the whole process.
Director General, National Orientation Agency, Garoba Abari, said 80% of peace building in affected states is yet to be achieved. He stressed the need for infrastructural provision and security in the area to enable the internally displaced persons return home.
If you are talking about taking the internally displaced persons, for example, back to their respective places, there is the issue of very poor road network. There is the problem of mines that are lying all about the place. There is the problem of a dispersed population, which in itself is also a security danger.
The internally displaced people, he said, wants corrupt practices by officials to be checked. Joseph Orok, NTA News.
The National Human Rights Commission has debunked media reports that its draft Northeast Human Rights Assessment Report has indicted the presidency, former secretary to the government of the Federation, and other institutions for allegedly diverting internally displaced persons funds. The acting executive secretary of the commission stated this while speaking on the draft reports in Abuja. Aliyu Tukur reports.
Following the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeastern part of Nigeria, human rights and humanitarian challenges were unleashed on part of the country, leading to the killings and displacement of people. This necessitated a structured assessment and re-evaluation of the human rights situation in the affected area for better intervention. That is what the draft on Northeast Human Rights Assessment Report is meant for. But on releasing the draft report, some media went ahead to report that the Commission has indicted government for diverting the IDP's fund. This, the acting executive secretary says, it is contrary to the position of the draft report.
It must be clearly stated that the report also does not state that Boko Haram insurgents still occupy territories in the northeast as at the time of the consultation with stakeholders.
Some of the relief items that were meant for these IDPs do not get to them.
The Commission went further to say the report is an assessment of human rights and humanitarian challenges in the northeast, with a view to shaping policies in consolidating interventions in the region, which is currently undergoing validation and consultations. In Abuja, Aliyu Tukur, NTA News.
Time now to link up with Ademola in Lagos, the Center of Excellence, for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Ademola.
Hello, Ronke. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Lagos. In line with the National Quality Infrastructure Project for Nigeria, the National Quality Award 2017 has recognized organizations in the country who have demonstrated a high level of excellence in their operations. Ken Igbeluhe reports that the award, which held in Lagos, was organized by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization.
Nigerian National Quality Awards, the organizers say, is to increase the awareness on quality and standards, contribute to consumers' confidence in made in Nigeria products.
The Nigerian National Quality Award, Shamefeza provides a widely trusted endorsement of a company's excellence that can further boost competitiveness locally and overseas, because it is criteria based on, as you know, ISO 9001-2015 and also ISO 9004.
Productivity drives and ensures quality. Without a productive mindset, you can't come out with quality goods and services. And that is why I'm so passionate about this project.
We celebrate the achievement of our corporate organizations in both the private and public sectors that have attained outstanding levels of business excellence.
Awards and certificates were presented to winners. The awards were in 4 categories: the bronze, the silver, gold, and the diamond.
With this award, the Nigerian Air Force is encouraged. With this award, the Nigerian Air Force has been recognized.
It's to improve the quality of our services to satisfy our customers.
The first of its kind in the country, the Nigerian National Quality Award attracted captains of industry as well as the public sectors in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
Effective partnership between government and the private sector has been identified as a veritable tool to foster the development of micro, small and medium enterprise in Nigeria. Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Hajia Aisha Abubakar, stated this at the maiden edition of SMEs Connect, organized by the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi compiled
Hajia Aisha Abubakar. The minister, Hajia Aisha.
We apologize for it. We seem to be having some challenges in our Lagos Network Center. Please bear with us. And moving on now, we'd like to go on commercial break.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever, tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, cordially invites all state commissioners, permanent secretaries and directors of tourism and culture and other stakeholders in the tourism, culture and national orientation sector to the 9th National Council meeting on tourism, culture and national orientation with the theme Tourism and Culture as a Panacea for Nigerian Economic Recovery. Chief Host, Executive Governor of Jigawa State, Alhaji Muhammad Badaru Abubakar. Venue, Manpower Development Institute along Government House Road, opposite Commercial Secondary School, Takuru, Adwa, Duse, Jigawa State. Date, 22nd to 25th November 2017. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Announcer.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alhaji.
Alhaji?
I am just rehearsing, dear.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 Naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, and win cash prizes. As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers. Terms and conditions apply. Proudly supported by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Honey, let's just pay now. The kids are bored. I am too.
We're traveling next week. We can't just waste money like that and subscribe for a month when we won't be around to use it.
Worried about wasted subscription? Then make a smart choice by paying for when you want with our groundbreaking new StarTimes Pay Per Day package. You can now pay for exactly how long you want. A day, 2 days, a week? The choice is yours. Never worry about wasted subscription again. Just enjoy all your favorite channels and much more. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Thanks for staying with us on NTA Network Service. This is Nationwide. Nigeria is inching close to achieving self-sufficiency in rice production. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at a media briefing to highlight the steady growing achievement of the federal government. Anthony Forson reports.
As at September 2015, Nigeria's rice importation quantity was put at 644,131 metric tons. Statistics have it that over 200 billion naira is spent on importation of rice from Thailand alone. This figure is a fraction of the over 7 trillion naira spent on importation of food into the country prior to the advent of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration in 2015. But since the nation's domestic mass production flooded the markets under the Anchor Borrowers program, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says Nigeria is on the right path.
In fact, the Thailand Rice Exporters Association has recently revealed that within a space of just 2 years, from September 2015 to September 2017, Nigeria's rice importation dropped from 644,131 metric tons to just about 21,000 metric tons.
The minister said, as a result of the success recorded in rice production, Taiwan, which is one of the major rice producers in the world, has indicated interest to invest in rice production in Nigeria.
The increased rice production has in turn led to the establishment of rice mills, including the 120,000 metric ton Wakot mill in Kebbi and the 1 million metric ton rice mill being proposed by Aliko Dangote.
Responding to questions fielded at him, the minister explained that the investors will not in any way dampen the morale of local rice farmers. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Nigeria's High Commissioner to New Zealand, Ambassador Bello Kazaure, is asking investors from the Oceania to take advantage of the ease of doing business, visa on arrival, and other incentives introduced by the federal government to invest in the country. This was when the ambassador presented letter of credence to the Governor General of that country. Musa Abubakar reports.
That traditional performance by Maori ushered in Ambassador Bello Kazaure, Nigeria's High Commissioner to Australia with concurrence to New Zealand and other countries in the Oceania, to the State House in Wellington. After inspecting a guard of honor, Ambassador Kazaure presented a letter of credence to the Governor General of New Zealand, Patsy Reddy. He reiterated Nigeria's commitment to maintaining long-existing relationship with Commonwealth nations and urged Oceanian countries to take advantage of improved security, credibility in governance, and high return on investment to do business in the country. Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria has restated a commitment to continue to partner the European Union on the hazards of illegal migration, drug trafficking and smuggling of persons and property across the Mediterranean to Europe. The Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Khadija Abba Bukar Ibrahim, and that of Interior said this when both hosted a delegation of the European Union in Abuja.
Built in within this agenda of growth and investment, migration and mobility and security issues, it's an attempt to look at the root causes, looking at the challenges, because without knowing the root causes, we won't, find the correct solutions.
There is now the new European Fund for Sustainable Development, with a potential multiplier effect to support investments, mobilize somewhere in the region of 44 billion euros worth of investment.
Other areas of mutual interest include solid minerals processing and packaging, as well as agricultural value chain. Promoting culture, ethics and values rekindled by National Institute for Cultural Orientation. Plus, Senator Bola Tinubu visits Akure. Agatha is in Benin with details and more. Hello, Agatha.
Hello Ronke, good evening. Welcome to the City of Bronze. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, says President Muhammadu Buhari is a leader who believes in due process and rule of law. He spoke with newsmen in Akure, the Ondo State capital, after a closed-door meeting with the leader of Pan Yoruba Social Cultural Group, Ruben Fashion. Doris Odumoko reports.
The APC national leader, Bola Tinubu, while answering questions on the APC's preparations for the 2019 presidential election, said no governor can appropriate the power of endorsement to themselves.
Buhari will want a normal process. The Buhari that I know, who says he will lose at any convention. But if the national body of the party, the NEC, and all of us as members have now got together and endorse it as our single candidate, we will not be violating INEC regulations. We will not be violating our own constitution. What we are hearing from anybody is a campaign to be chorused by other people who might like to do so.
The APC national leader was in Akure to acknowledge the leadership of the Afenifere leader, Ruben Fashion, whom he described as a great leader. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
The National Institute for Cultural Orientation, in collaboration with the House of Representatives Committee on Culture and Tourism, has held its second Cultural Orientation Sensitization Program in Benin. Franco Konofa reports that the Minister for Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, and the wife of Edo State Governor, Mrs. Betsy Obaseki, were represented at the event.
Chairman on the occasion and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Yakubu Dogara, represented by Mr. Sergius Ogun, said, preparing children for the future is a collective responsibility of all stakeholders.
It will not only be a credible platform to reinvent our cultural value, but also has the capacity to serve as catalyst for socio-political and economic development.
The representative of the Minister for Information and Culture, General Manager of Bronze FM, Mrs. Abimbola Ayetude, commended the Executive Secretary and management of the Institute, as well as the Chairman and members of the House Committee on Culture and Tourism for the initiative. Chairman, House Committee on Culture and Tourism, Mr. Omorege Ugbedi Iyama, said the program is a strategy to create a platform to prepare and equip children. The wife of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Miriam Shaibu, presented awards to the best 20 students in the Uredo local government area of the state. Science equipment were also donated. In Benin, Franco Konofwa, NTA News.
And the Edo State government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, UNITA, to improve workers' capacity to deliver quality service. Governor Gordon Obaseki says the training will equip Edo civil servants with new knowledge and skills for optimal performance. Good luck in Aini has details.
This development, according to the governor, is in line with the state government's determination to revamp the state civil service. Governor Obaseki, who described the signing of the MOU as timely, said the development is a clear indication of his administration's determination towards making its workers valuable assets, assuring that discussions have been held with some bodies on how to develop the curriculum for the key programs before the end of the year. He also explained that the collaboration with the United Nations body will also focus on monitoring and evaluation for efficient systems in the state education sector.
We are particularly excited about the cooperation that will come out as a result of this agreement, particularly as it relates to the government science and technical financing.
The country representative of UNITA, Dr. Larry Booms, said The partnership on capacity building will enable civil servants in the state effectively drive government policies and assured that UNITA will pool more resources from its partners countries in the European Union to assist the states. In Benin, I am Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
That's our package here. Back to you, Ronke, for more on Nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you, Agatha. For Nigeria to sustain the trend of meaningful development, more investment in statistics to get the required data for inclusive development plan is imperative. Statistician General of the Federation, Yemi Kale, stated this at the 2017 African Statistics Day celebration in Abuja, as reported by Musa Abubakar.
If the importance of reliable data on inflation, unemployment and gross domestic product among other variables in development plan and policy implementation is anything to go by, statistics play a crucial role in translating socio-economic policies to reality. The 2017 African Statistics Day celebration brought together experts to dwell on the promotion of statistics awareness and how it could be used to better the society.
We must strive to institutionalize the use of statistics in our work and private dealings, as this is the only way that we will be able to achieve effective and measurable progress, both as individuals and as a nation.
The Statistician General, Yemi Kale, represented by Bapayo Samanja, said statistics forms a vital component of decision-making and policy implementation in any society, given recent economic challenges.
Having come out of very difficult recession, we now have another opportunity to apply the use of this kind of economic statistics being published prior to our entry into recession in the third quarter of 2015.
With the team Better Lives with Better Economic Statistics, accurate and reliable data, they say, will enhance economic growth. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA Network Service. We now like to go on commercial break. More reports when we come back.
Everybody comes to the city to seek greener pasture. No, not everybody. Many people also run away from their home villages in search of refuge and peace in the city. These people are running away from archaic customs and traditions, draconian village practices that have in one way or the other made them victims of circumstances based on cultural practices.
It sounds like a tale out of the medieval era.
Oh yes. Keep a date with us this week on Professor John Bull in this episode titled Running to the City, and discover how Boam and Nje escaped to become part and parcel of Professor John Bull's household and proximate people. Also, find out why Jumoke will love Jeroboam instead of Flashboy.
Oh, my baby shawarma with a dash and a style. Move like a flash, baby.
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow,
the largest data network. Glow Unlimited.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime, we bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism and other criminal activities. Be productive,
Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Glad to know you're still watching Nationwide on NTA Network Service. Sokoto State Government takes drastic measures to contain strange disease. Over now to Salamatu for details of this and other trending stories from the seat of the Caliphate.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome to Seeds of the Caliphate. Sokoto State Government has been advised to reintroduce house-to-house inspection by sanitary health workers across the state. This is coming as the state government dispatched a team of health environmental workers to Mabera area of Sokoto, where 3 persons were reported dead from a suspected disease of hemorrhagic fever. Sadia Umardiki presents the details.
The inspection of the Mabera area was prompted by the need to contain further spread of the disease and to ensure the environmental cleanliness of the entire area. The team of environmental health and pollution control officials engaged in the general fumigation of the areas, inspection and health education of the residents on the need to maintain a clean environment. Leader of the team, Malam Aminu Liman, says the recent incident in which the 3 people died could be attributed to the unhygienic nature of the environment. He added that both the Ministries of Health and that of Environment will soon come up with a proper solution of addressing the problem. In the meantime, the State Ministry of Health has declared a 21-day surveillance of the Mabera area to allow for proper investigation and control of the environment. Malam Adam Abdullahi Romo is the Executive Secretary, Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
We keep on pushing our teams to go on surveillance. And as I'm talking to you now, there is no case reported again. Even a lateral fever, don't even talk of the high fever like that happens in the first.
It will be recalled that 2 weeks ago, a suspected hemorrhagic fever was reported in the Mabera area, which claimed the lives of 3 people, including a secondary school student. In Sokoto, Sadia Omardigi, NTA News.
Has made out a strong case of decentralization of the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise in the state. The royal fathers made the submission while receiving INEC resident electoral commissioner in the state, Asama'u Sani Mekudi, who visited the council. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The INEC resident electoral commissioner in charge of Zamfara State, Dr. Asma'u Sani Mekudi, was at the state secretariat of the Council of Chiefs to thank the royal fathers for their vital role in the ongoing sensitization of people on the importance of the continued voter registration exercise and to seek for their continued support in that direction. The ardent need for the establishment of more registration centers across the 14 local government areas of the state dominated submission by the royal fathers. They regretted that the restriction of the exercise to local government INEC offices is making it very difficult for most of the eligible voters, especially from remote areas, to register. Emir of Anka and Chairman State Council of Chiefs, Alhaji Attahiru Muhammad Ahmad, charged INEC to consider the peculiar challenges the state has, especially in the areas of security and terrain, by creating more registration centers and to allow for movement of DDC machines to wards level for wider coverage. The INEC resident electoral commissioner, who observed that the recent involvement of the traditional rulers in the mobilization exercise has started yielding positive results, pledged that the request of the State Council of Chiefs will be adequately looked into. There are still more than 40,000 unclaimed permanent voter cards in the state. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Fund has identified over 1,600 erosion sites in Kebbi State, which required urgent government attention. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the sites were identified when officials of the fund went on an erosion assessment tour of the state. The report.
Kebbi State has abundant fertile land suitable for production of various crops, but soil erosion is threatening the quality of the land. Soil erosion is now one of the most challenging ecological problems facing Kebbi State, as it affects all the 21 local government areas. In addition to destroying the arable land, the erosion also causes serious flooding during the rainy season, resulting into damage to houses and farmlands. Officials of the National Ecological Funds have recently visited the state to assess the level of erosion and were surprised by what they saw. The Deputy Director, Soil Erosion and Flood Control of the National Ecological Fund Office, Mr. Yu Magarba Matthias, said they have seen the level of erosion in the state and will compile a situation report. The Chairman, State Emergency Management Agency, Alhaji Sani Dododo, who went round with the officials, said 1,145 serious gully erosion sites that needed urgent attention were discovered. Alhaji Sani Dododo said the local government with the highest number of gully erosion is Bunza, with 116 sites, followed by Arugungu, Bagudo and Kokobesi. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
From Sakutu, it's back to Ronke for the continuation of News Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too, Salamatu, and thank you. About 5,000 women, children and men have benefited from the medical services courtesy Future Assured program of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, in Bauchi State. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports that the beneficiaries were drawn from all the local government areas of the state.
3,000 women and men were screened and treated for various ailments comprising diabetes, hypertension, eye-related challenges such as cataracts and glaucoma. Free eyeglasses were also given to those affected to aid them for clear vision. In the same vein, 2,000 children formed in the state as a pilot program at Babasidi and Shadonka primary schools with the hope of extending the program to all the pupils across the state, in addition to health talk. The gesture is part of the humanitarian activities of the wife of the president through her Future Assured program in collaboration with the non-governmental organization Cry for Help, as well as the wife of the governor Hadiza Abubakar.
We are not only examining them or identifying the challenges they are facing, we are also giving them drugs. And if it goes beyond the consultation process we are doing today, they are referred to the necessary hospitals.
Like normally, as is, like you just mentioned, is to actually improve the general health welfare of the women and children and actually society as a whole.
Adequate personnel comprising doctors, nurses, midwiferys, pharmacists and lab scientists were provided by the state government for the smooth conduct of the exercise, which is expected to cater for the women suffering from these kind of health challenges across the state. The beneficiaries expressed their happiness with this gesture.
I am happy because I have the message.
Bauchi, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
And back in Abuja, the panel set up by the Ministry of Education to audit the utilization of the takeoff grant for 12 universities has presented its report to the minister in Abuja. Olayinka Ojo reports that the report of the panel reveals that 12 universities have just 3,756 academic staff.
The report of the 7-man audit panel shows that the total number of students enrollment in all the 12 universities stands at 40,614, with only about 32% of the lecturers having doctorate degrees. Chairman of the panel, Professor Olufemi Bamiro, says guidelines in the Procurement Act were duly followed on award of contracts by the institutions.
As of July 2017, Third Fund had released the total sum of about 31.058 billion to NUC for the 12 new universities, being their take-off grants.
Receiving the report, Minister of Education Adamu Adamu said the report will be studied and will ensure recommendations are implemented.
We'll be looking for you as a committee, or at least the chairman and the secretary, so that we'll be asking for some things to be made clear.
It will be recalled that on 2nd May 2017, the Minister of Education inaugurated the 7-man panel to audit the utilization of the takeoff grants to 12 universities. In Abuja, Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Spouses of members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers have donated 4 classroom blocks to Junior Secondary School, Galadimawa in Abuja. Presented the classroom blocks to the community. President of the Spouses Forum of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Dame Nkechi Ayeji, reaffirmed the commitment of the spouses to provide infrastructure and services to communities and individuals in need of assistance as part of the social responsibilities of the forum.
I want to encourage the villagers that not only going to farm, I know they are a community of farmers, but they should also encourage their kids to go to school, because with education you go to higher places.
Well, it is all God's doing through the spouses, the Nigerian Society of Engineers Spouses Forum. Their leadership came up with this idea of coming to do something on education in a community, and through some of their members they got to know about this village, and they came and felt that they needed really to act here to make a difference and improve the lot of the students, you know, that are here, and really operating in a situation of a very serious deficit in terms of classroom.
District Head of Galadimawa Community, Alhaji Musa Barde, expressed joy and appreciation of the gesture, which he described as overwhelming.
To the secondary school, but today we have had an improvement.
The Spouses Forum of Nigerian Society of Engineers was established to complement efforts of Nigerian engineers towards the development of the nation. A string of new direct jobs has begun to emerge in Owerri, west of Imo State, as many youths there take advantage of the construction of 500 housing units by the federal government to earn a living. Usman Aliyu reports.
The will to survive here is intense. This youth typifies the resilient spirit which is now prevalent at this construction site.
This Abu area in Owerri West had a bad reputation in the past of crime wave, especially kidnapping. But with the development of this construction of 500 housing units, you can see more youths are engaged, thereby seeking a better living.
Although this project could have commenced last year, federal government assured that the 3-year target will be achieved without compromising the standards of the agreement.
Issues of payment, I will personally make sure that payment is done as soon as it is due.
Imo State government says it has planned to compensate those who sacrificed their plots of land for this work with alternative.
We appreciate your sacrifice. It's not usually too easy for people to donate their land for the purposes of any kind of development.
All contractors handling this project, comprising 3 and 2 bedrooms, semi-detached, and 24 blocks of story buildings, have been mobilized. In Owerri, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) is working towards deepening strategic partnership with the government of Canada and Germany in areas of employment and education. The Congress leadership took the campaign to the Canadian Embassy in Abuja. Emmanuel Ayumiro tells us more.
As part of the mandate of the Nigerian Labour Congress, which is expected to advance international transactions of its affiliates in other countries, while Confederation of Workers are getting set to participate at the International Trade Union of Confederation coming up in Brussels. NLC wants the German ambassador to Nigeria, Bernhard Slahek, to intervene in immigration policies affecting Nigerian workers in Germany.
The issue of youth migration, which is a phenomenon that cannot be stopped, but there is a way we can control. And
while at the Canadian Embassy, NLC raised concerns over issues of unemployment and needed intervention from Canada.
To partner with you to try to work around issues of development.
There are many areas where we can look at collaboration, I think mainly because of your reach. Technical and vocational training, I was just talking with our development agency, our development people the other day, that was something we should look at doing more of.
NLC is trying to foster bilateral and multilateral relations with progressive trade union confederations in Africa and beyond. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
And talking sports now, Nigeria Super Eagles drop in latest FIFA ranking as made in APC National Unity Cup Football Championship begins in Abuja. Dede Sonny has details and more on Sports Update.